And the Emmy goes to The Daily Show with Trevor Noah.
Yeah, on its last chance to win, with Trevor Noah as its host, The Daily Show won Best Variety Sketch Series at the Primetime Emmys last night.
I told you we would beat John Oliver if he wasn't in our category.
Trevor left the hosting chair on December 8th, 2022. That was still part of the eligibility period because remember, the Emmys usually happen in September. And yeah, the eligibility period stayed the same, it's just that the ceremony was delayed till January because of the SAG strike.
I'm so glad everybody's coming up here. Can I just say, this story has been so long, it's been so crazy, it's been so wonderful.
Well, after Trevor's exit, the story of The Daily Show has still been a long, crazy, and I don't know what wonderful one. Now, another comic who is no longer with the show, Roy Wood Jr., positioned himself right behind Trevor as everyone else on staff came on stage, which was no accident, which you'll see in a second. Now, before the win, Roy tweeted a photo with the caption, "When you left the job, but still get invited to the company party."
And then the writers and the team, Roy Wood Jr. from the very beginning.
Trevor acknowledged Roy, who had been with the show for 8 years before quitting in October, which shocked the public because, from the public's perception, Roy was seen as one of the frontrunners to take the hosting chair, a gig that is still up for grabs 13 months after Trevor's departure. Now keep your eyes on Roy here.
David Kibuka, Joseph Opio, thank you so much. David Meyer, my
Hire a host is what Roy mouthed.
Showrunner of Jen Flans. This woman rode with me through the trenches.
Now when Roy's back in frame, he mouths, "We don't care, where's the host?" Now Roy's going to be on camera long enough to say, "Hire a host, please," 2 more times. The Daily Beast headline today says, Roy Wood Jr. quietly shades The Daily Show at the Emmys. Oh, how simplistic we've become. This isn't shade at The Daily Show. This is a very clever way of Roy getting his name back into the conversation of being the new host of The Daily Show. Now let's back up for a second. Following Trevor's departure in December 2022, more well-known comics guest hosted the show from January to March, and then Roy got his chance the first week of April.
You know, we've had a run of guest hosts, and thankfully, I'm thankful that I'm finally getting an opportunity myself to step on the desk.
Yes.
And try and do my thing a little bit.
And former host Jon Stewart made a surprise appearance and seemingly gave his seal of approval for Roy to take over that hosting seat.
My point is this, Roy, and thank you for having me on the program. The thing about, and you're doing a fabulous job, by the way.
Thank you, brother.
3 weeks after that stint, Roy followed in Trevor's 2022 footsteps and hosted the 2023 White House Correspondents' Dinner on Saturday, April 29th, and killed it.
Well, congratulations, man.
Thank you.
How was it?
It was good. It was good.
That Monday, May 1st, Roy does a kind of victory lap with appearances on The View and The Tamron Hall Show.
He did a phenomenal job, right? Now, at the same time, Roy is the front runner to replace Trevor Noah as host of The Daily Show. Right.
Now, you can bet that that victory lap included a stop in his boss's office at Comedy Central where Roy said, "What else do I got to do?" And the response was probably, "Well, we'll think about it." Well, next day, May 2nd, the writer's strike happens, and production shuts down on The Daily Show, which obviously threw off Comedy Central's original timeline of announcement that they said they'd have a new host in place by the fall of 2023. But I mean, they've already had 13 viable candidates try out for that job, so to speak, already, and Roy has already done all he can do to prove himself worthy. There's a whole sidebar thing to this with speculation about his menage, but it actually doesn't really matter when it comes to Roy. So we're just going to stick with what we know. What we do know for sure is that on September 27th, the writer's strike ends, and Comedy Central announces that The Daily Show will be back on October 16th with new episodes with more guest hosts, with the idea that a new host will be in place for January 2024. You know what wasn't announced? That Roy Wood Jr. would be the new host of The Daily Show. So 8 days later, on October 5th, Roy announces on Instagram that he quit The Daily Show.
So there's no sense in me doing what I've been doing for the last 8 years while concurrently trying to think of a new thing to do.
You're only thinking of a new thing to do if you believe or have been told that you have no future or there's no possibility of you advancing at the company that you're currently with.
The job of correspondent, it's not really one where you can really juggle multiple things. And I think after 8 years, I think I've earned the right to just, take a quick break before January.
Before January, when the new Daily Show host is apparently going to be announced. Like, who quits a job thinking, well, this will really endear me to my bosses and they'll definitely give me that promotion that they haven't given me over the last 6 months? No, of course not. But Roy says in that NPR interview that he thinks he still has a shot at the job.
If you're offered the chance to host The Daily Show at any point in your life, you have to stop for a second and consider that.
Roy follows up that NPR interview with an appearance on Sherry on October 16th.
We wanted you to have this job. What happened?
Well, number one, it still could happen. I just don't want to work in the meantime.
That's a great way to get that promotion. But yeah, look, it's not hard to read between the lines here. Roy did his best pitch to get that job in April. 6 months later, Comedy Central has not given him that job.
That's going to be a long process, figuring out who's going to be in that chair. And I respect that process, but while you got your process, I need to have my process. So I'm going to be over here making sure that all my ducks are in a row as well, in case that doesn't end up the way that I hope.
If you think you're actually in the running, you stay at that position, Brown knows your boss for the next 3 months and keep your fingers crossed. But Roy obviously saw the writing on the wall that, Comedy Central was not going to give him that job. And that's, I agree with that. They were not going to give him that job. They haven't given it to him in 6 months. They're not going to give it to him now. So Roy decides to go the route of, you'll miss me when I'm gone, apparently. So he quits, goes and does the NPR interview, goes and does the Sherry interview, in hopes that it drums up public support, public sentiment to get him that job like it did back in April.
I want to make sure that I remove that stress from my space so that I have space to figure out what's next for myself in case I'm not in that chair come January.
He doesn't get that call for January, but actually nobody does. But he does get the call to attend the Emmys. So he goes and places himself right behind Trevor, saying, hire a host. When Emmy viewers noticed that and tweeted about it, Roy did the exact opposite of keeping it on the down low. At 10 p.m. last night, Roy first retweeted the video of the moment, which has helped Brian Williams' tweet reach 6.7 million people. And then Roy quoted the video in a second tweet, writing, "Chill fam, I was trying to do that in the low," which has reached 5.5 million people. The Hollywood Reporter tracked Roy down at the governor's ball last night, and Roy confirmed, "I was saying, please hire a host. I probably shouldn't have done it, but this has been going on too long. Get it together. But I'm so happy that Noah won." Well, Roy made a lot of headlines today, but the Daily Beast said he was shading The Daily Show, and TMZ said he was mouthing off. Well, at 5:30 today, Roy posted a tweet that says, "This man, Trevor, the people on the stage, the staff, and the rest of the team back home in New York, bust their ass day and night, week after week, month after month, year after year. Congrats to my Daily Show fam, overdue." That's a very gushing post about your former workplace. Like, that very much sounds to me as someone who is hoping to stay in a company's good graces and still might want a job there. And look, I am not saying this is like a bad thing for Roy to do, like that this is conniving, that this is like undermining, nothing like that. Like, this is an awesome move by Roy. Like, good on you. Like, smart, very smart move. But this is not Roy shading Comedy Central, him being concerned about the operations of his former workplace. This was Roy literally positioning himself at a high-profile event and getting his name back into the conversation of being the new Daily Show host. Smart move. What are your thoughts?
Thank you to these people. We did it, baby. We did it.